Mo, I'm Alex Davuchis. I'm past president the provincial. Your member Cassidy DeVere is taking over from me, so I think the organization's in good hands, and you guys have got an awesome organization going in Kelowna. Mo Bayat is the director of development services with the City of Kelowna. Is responsible for a department of 48 professional staff with a budget of over $5 million. As director, he oversees compliance monitoring services and construction approval of subdivisions, service connections, off-site improvements, permit issuance for building, plumbing and gas, field inspections, and business licensing for the city. Mo's been working for the City of Kelowna for the past 18 years. Previously, he was the chief building official for the City of Prince George for over 8 years. He holds a Master's of Science degree in architectural engineer from the University of Cologne in Germany, and is a registered and certified building official 3 in BC and Alberta. As voting member, the standing committee of the NRC, he helped create Canada's first national energy code for buildings in 2011. And on that note, Mo, I'm just going to pass it on to you, and I just want to thank you again for taking the time to speak to issues that you faced at Kelowna and how you managed to make things work. And Melissa, thanks again for joining us.
I just wanted to thank Melissa for joining us, especially on such short notice. Melissa, being the head of the building department in the municipality, probably has a lot of things on her plate. So we really appreciate you making the time to be here.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Alex, for your kind introduction. And also thank you, Chris. I agree that it's a great idea to have Melissa here. And thanks, Melissa, for her interest. So first of all, I want to give a compliment to pragmatic leadership of the CHP board here, and the staff, obviously, and the board in general, by reaching out to learn and also proactively to help improve the processes in your area. So that's great. The good news is that what you're doing today is concurrent with the goal of provincial government. As you probably heard, that provincial government, in order to improve the housing affordability and housing volume and supply throughout the province, they are on their own. They are changing the regulations. The most recent one that probably you know is they changed the community charter and also relaxing the regulations, such as, for instance, development variance permit that was required to go through the public hearing now is allowed to be given based on the municipal governance motion, could be delegated this authority to planning staff, and they can make a decision whether that has to go to the public hearing or not, which means that will cut down almost a month, at least a month, if not more, of the process. And also, in addition to that, stay tuned, that province is going to make some announcement pretty soon, even for further improvement. So that's why I'm glad that Melissa is here, and then obviously the whole province is going to go in that direction. The best way is to basically every of us to jump in the wagon and work together as one team. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to touch on process timelines, and also then I'm going to focus on what kind of process restructuring I did in Kelowna and what was the outcome. The first thing that is very, very important is we got to look at the very high level. We need culture change. And the way that I'm selling to my team, to my staff, is there are a couple of points that should be important, in my opinion, to everybody. Because time has changed. As you know, let's say 3 years ago, Alex didn't need to be a license holder. He could be a Joe Blow, and the state could build a house. But province is tightening, or has been tightening the regulations. Now this is culture change for the municipality as well. So the builders that we have today, including Alex, he can tell you that how many courses he had to take in order to get his license or maintain his license. So it's quite difference between what we had, let's say, 5 years ago compared to today. So therefore, one of the culture change is for the municipalities is to accept the fact now we are not dealing with the Joe Blow or the RCMP officer or the firefighters or the staff who were working in various capacity. They were working 4 days shift, 4 days off, and that 4 days off they would become a builder, or somebody would work in lumber yard in the afternoon, and which we have seen it. You have seen it, I've seen it. So the time has changed. So that's one of the component of the culture change. So we as a municipality, we get to accept the fact that you are a professional, you're a registered builder, you're professional. And also we need to be cautious and conscious about that. Yes, there are people that the 95% of the professional license holders, either as a registered builder or as a developer, 95% of them, they are not there to cut the corner or cheat on the system. Yes, they are 2-3%. And this is not fair now to add red tapes and make additional restrictions in order to get hold of or limit the activity of the 5% and punish 95%. That's wrong. That's one of the culture change that I have been responding on it to my staff. So we get the respect that you're a responsible individual as a builder, you're a license holder, you have the warranty, and your neck is on the line. So that needs to be, so therefore we need to rely on you as the official, as the authority having jurisdiction. So that's culture change. And also the other thing is, should not be, or which used to be 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, us and them. No, there is no us and them. We are one team. We are part and parcel of each other. Either you're a licensed builder or I'm a building official. We are working together for the common goal. That is part of the culture change. So, and this culture change must be from the grassroots, from the municipalities. It's something that, in my opinion, is the responsibility and culture change should come from top down. So, which means the municipal council should be aware of that and then push that direction through their staff that they're reporting. So that has been, in order to do that, the step that I took, I reached out to International Code Council, which has a branch. It's called International Accreditation Services. So about in 2012, I came across that organization, which basically they have been around for over 75 years, and they go through the extensive process in order to accredit building departments, fire departments, police departments, hospitals, as well as laboratories. So those basically organization or department or institutions that are dealing directly with the public safety, they can get accredited. And by getting accredited, really is going to make a huge difference. In order to get accredited, you need to start with the culture change first. Culture change, and then right immediately with change management within the organization. That's what I did. So in 2012, I said, I want to challenge, because at that time, I thought that we are providing good service. Why not verify and validate this good service? Two types of municipality. Let's focus on the building department accreditation. Two types of municipality usually go in that direction. And one type is if the things is broken at that level, so that and basically a pressure or direction is given from top to bottom, from the municipal council, for city manager and so forth, say fix it. One way to fix it, you go through the accreditation, because accreditation gives you the opportunity to look at the processes that you have, and then you compare the processes as part of your operation and compare to the best practice and standards. They have standards. Basically, with other words, they come to your operation, they come for pre-evaluation, a team of 3, and then they give you corrective actions to improve your process. Then they come for the full evaluation, and that gives you another set of requirements to improve your process. And the third one is the final evaluation, and then is a process, lengthy process. I admit it took us probably 15 to 18 months. However, that effort and energy was worth it. And since then, I'm encouraging other municipality to follow that path, which that process gives the municipality a quality assurance program, and as well as a quality control management. So that's first step I did. I went through the accreditation, get the buy-in from my team, went through the cultural change and buy-in, all this, and then we are unfortunately, I should say, that we are the City of Kelowna is the only municipality in BC, not only in BC, but also in Canada, that is accredited. And I'm encouraging through BOABC other municipalities to go in that direction, which I know that benefits the municipality and benefits the service recipient. That for sure. And in general public. City of Abbotsford, they tried, and Capital Municipality, but they didn't follow up, they didn't follow through with it. So that's one thing that you will see, let's say, if you see you have this package from us, says IAS accredited. This is their logo, and my staff members, they are very proud of that. And every correspondence emails that goes out, that logo is at the bottom, because they should be proud, because they have to put extra effort and energy to get there. So that's good for the team as well. That's first thing I did. And then based on the quality assurance program that was created through this accreditation, where I restructured the permit path. You have this, this package. One of the packages, this, as you notice, the permit path. Basically, what we did, we provided, especially during the COVID, we extended the options as far as the applying for permits. That's why you see that you can apply either during the COVID or today. You can apply in person, come City Hall, as convention is done, or you can go online and apply for building permit for a house or whatever, for the 42-story high-rise or whatever. And there are many options, and you can basically apply by just packaging and mailing the entire package to us. So there are so many options is available. We increase the options, and if this package, when it comes, it follows 2 paths, as you notice in your handout. If application is complete, which obviously every municipality is looking for a complete application, and I would to boards, I would encourage you to pass on to your members that complete application based on the checklist that municipality provides is the best and first step. So that way, there is no excuses for municipalities to say, hey, if it's incomplete, then obviously they cannot process the application. If it's complete, and then in order to make sure that it's complete, what we have here in the front or online, there is a checklist. When you apply, there's a checklist to say, hey, for single family dwelling, you need all these documents. And there are exemptions. If you have municipal services, then you don't need, obviously, the qualified practitioner to submit design of septic tank and septic field and all this. So it's very clear. The one window, we call it one window, or is application center. They review the application completeness by checking to see if it meets all those boxes. As soon as those boxes are met, then it's going to go, the application package is going to go to plan checker queue, and plan checkers, what they do in that case, they do either every day or every other day. They go and just do a basically courtesy preliminary review of that application to make sure that if it's something pops out that is not there, at least to give the applicant heads up right in the beginning, not to wait for 2 weeks and then say, hey, by the way, you're missing your trust title, for example. No. Well, if you can catch that one, some of the big nuggets right up front is beneficial to the applicant. So they do it, courtesy review. It takes a couple of minutes, doesn't take much, because the checklist is there. The checklist is there, and the document is there. First, Blanche is going to look at the checklist. Oh yeah, there's nothing there, and then just spend 1 minute to see whether the schedules, if it's needed, everything else is there. That's it. Then it's good. Then it goes back to the queue until, let's say, another 8-9 working days is its turn, and that will be reviewed the same day and issued same day. So if it's incomplete, then obviously there are 2 options. If it's too incomplete, the applicant is encouraged to reapply, or if it's partially incomplete, then the plan checker is going to send the email to the applicant and say, is incomplete, we need this information, please provide. That might, if the application is incomplete, then it's out of the plan checker hands. They have to wait until they get the appropriate information to proceed. But if it's incomplete, within 10 days, we are committed to issue, for instance, building permit for a house. So that's the first step, is the path. The other things that I did, basically to remove what I removed as all those red tapes that do not add any value and has been there because for whatever reason, because in the past we did it that way, so let's do it. No, where we started to ask during the process of accreditation, and every day we ask ourselves, and that's I'm letting the staff know that every day ask yourself any steps in the process that we take, whether it's really adding value or not. If ask hard question, come and ask me, what is the purpose of this? Why we are asking for this document or the other? If there is no answer, that means it doesn't have any value. Get rid of it. So that is very, very important. Cleaning the process, getting rid of those processes that are unnecessary. Then what I did, I mean, in some municipalities it's not possible, depending on the size of the municipality. Smaller municipality, maybe it's possible, maybe it's not possible. What I did in order to create a rapport and building a trust between builders, developers, and my team, what I did, instead of, let's say, Alex today dealing with that inspector, and tomorrow with different inspector, or today with this plan checker, tomorrow with different plan checker, what I did, I divided geographic area, and I added in every geographic area, as you see it in your handout, you will see this one. This is the map of Kelowna. And as you notice here, actually, I expanded that one. Here you see here in every area, based on the qualification of the staff. As you know, now the plan checkers, building inspectors, they have to have, like builders, they have to have a credential and qualifications. If they have level 1, they can do only single family dwelling, level 2, single family plus small commercial, and the part 9, and level 3, everything else. So based on their qualification, I put 1 plan checker, 1 building inspector, 1 plumbing inspector, 1 gas inspector, and now recently I added 1 development engineering technologist, because the development engineering is part of my department as well. So I have a team of more or less 4 to every geographic area. If Alex, as a builder, builds in certain geographic area, he knows exactly who is the building inspector, who is the plumbing inspector, who is the plan checker. Doesn't need, in the past, used to be, you had to call in and say, who is reviewing my application? That's nightmare for applicant and for the staff. So now I created with that, indirectly, I increased the bar of responsibility and accountability of the staff. Now they know this, the specific area, every application that goes straight in their area. So now they're accountable. When the application is received and when it was reviewed, and if it's delayed, why is it delayed? So everything is listed into the system. Let's say, okay, I contacted Alex, so-and-so trust systems were missing. Now I know why it was delayed. If Alex phones, say, hey, why is it taking so long? Say, hey, where's the trust packages? So it's transparency is added to that process. And so it's with the inspection. If today, Alex, before 3 o'clock, phones for inspection for tomorrow, he gets his inspection, guaranteed. Within 24 hours, we deliver the inspections, and we are committed to that. So yes, here and there, we put the onus, and certain builders that they are not finished, and inspector goes there. After a while, you get to know these builders, which fortunately there are not many of them. There are maybe, as I said, 3 to 4%, but 90, 95, 97%, they follow the rule. They are responsible. They say, okay, let's say in one area, Mark and Doug is there. Hey, Mark, I'm ready, come for inspection. And Mark knows that can rely on that builder. There are maybe from 600 builders, for example, maybe there are a handful, 5 of them, you get a watch. And then we should be dealing with those five builders separate from that 97, 98% of the builders, to be fair to everybody. So that was creating the geographic area. That was very, very helpful from accountability, transparency, and everything point of view. So, and then the other step that I did, I met with various stakeholders in either housing industry or development industry. For example, with our restoration company, with our renovators. How come I hear that you guys are missing permits here and there? Their answer was, oh, it's going to take forever to get a permit. That was about 15 years ago. And then I started to work on that. The first step was, okay, here, why is it taking so long? Oh, I need this drawing, that drawing. Okay, if you are dealing with the, let's say, somebody's house catch a fire and portion of the house is burned, obviously this is priority for me. I don't want to be the homeowner and waiting for this nonsense bureaucracy. I said, I will cut all this bureaucracy. All what you need to do the day after a fire, or if it's damaged by a storm or whatever, that needs to be restored back. All what you need to do, either go online or come to City Hall, just give me a list of the scope of the work that you do, which the scope is very clear. Insurance company is going to cover only the damaged area. Give that the scope, at least that the scope, and give us the best construction value, and immediately right away we issue the building permit. Then we rely on you if there is change in the scope. If you want to, the owner say, hey, while you're at it, can you add another room there or another garage there? Then it's up to you to come and basically modify your building permit application. So that permit, we started to issue those type of permits right in the front. I empowered the one window staff to release it, like demolition permit and this type of things, that you don't need to wait because the process is in place. What is there to review? Then I extended this, I call it fast track permit. I said, okay, in order for my staff to come and chase the plan checker, why I don't put a plan checker right in the front, in the public area, so that plan checker is there to respond. And also I push the planning department, say, I want you to do the same thing. Put a planner right in the front so that they can be available to respond to in-person visitors right there, as well as if they are not dealing with the customer, they can deal with the small permits that you don't need to put too much thought into it. And because sometimes if you're dealing with commercial projects, then you don't want, as a plan checker, you don't want your train of thought to be interrupted. So I said, but the small project, that's okay to be interrupted. I placed one plan checker right in the front. Well, I don't know if any of you visited City of Kelowna, and if you are here and you want to get a tour, I'm more than happy to give you a tour. And so we have the application center in the front, and the rest are behind the scene. So I brought one right in the front, and also planning department took a couple of years for them. They put one, so that creates enormous efficiency. Now the staff member in the front, I said, okay, here is certain applications that does not require any specific knowledge and can be done by level 1 plan checker, such as, let's say, issuing a building permit for attached garage, or issuing or issuing a permit for secondary street, or issuing permit for small projects that is not sophisticated, is very straightforward. So why we don't issue those permits as part of the fast track program? So I added to that fast track program. So to the extent that we have about, depends of the year, for the last 5 years, about 25 to 30% of the permits are issued within 2 working days. And those permits, as I said, is small permits, small renovations, small attachment, and so forth. To give you a couple of examples, all the restorations that we talked about it, it's part of the fast track program, adding a deck, renovating a deck, building is a garage, either attached or detached garage, secondary suite, carport, you name it. Those are the small projects that we are issuing within 2 days. And we are committed, and well, obviously subject the application to be complete. For houses, here we are reviewing the zoning bylaw, and we created a table of the various zoning bylaws instead of each, because we have too many zones here in Kelowna. Instead of plan checkers to go each time, flip over the zoning bylaw, we have a table. If you're RU1, that's 2-story, your setback is 2 meters on the side, and the front is so much, and your height is that much, and your side coverage is that much. That's all what we need to do. And if there is a restrictions, here we have lots of restrictions, such as no build area, because we are dealing with lots of environmental issues. Well, those are, as long as we created basically a report card for every subdivision. So here, lot number so and so, so and so is not subject to any, even because it's undisturbed soil is not subject, according to the geotechnical report, is not even subject to involvement or engagement of geotechnical consultant. So that's easier. Or lot number 5, 6, 7, I work with the industry, with subdivision approving officer and geotechnical consultant to improve that. And just in bracket, we have regular meeting with architects every 3 months, and they come basically for exchange of notes, for updating them of changes and educate them, as well as our outreach program is huge. I'm heavily involved with CHPA chapter here in Kelowna, as well as I'm involved, as Alex knows, with CHPA BC. We reach out. We are partnering with CHPA. If they have a let's say a trade show, and recently they just organized here job fair. We always even share a booth together. So we are really involved, and we work together. We sponsor and we support the CHPA here, because, as I said, I strongly believe that we are one team, and we are not we are depending on each other. So yeah, as far as commercial, I'm not going to dive into that, because even commercial housing is 10 working days or 2 weeks maximum if the application is complete. And commercial, some municipality takes way longer, but ours, if the development permit or planning approval is in place, it takes only 4 weeks for commercial, which is great in my opinion. So that was fast track program. And yeah, anything else that we come across, always we look for opportunity. And this accreditation program is great, because every year we have to prepare a report, and we have to give basically a report how many percentage of our permits, not only to accreditation, but also to city council. Let's say in annual budget, when I prepare my budget, there is a program input and output and duration and comparison between, let's say, how many permits we issued within how many days, let's say single family dwelling compared to the last year, we compare. So we are very transparent, and these dashboards, this data is shared with the community, with the city council, as well as we require to prepare that anyway through the accreditation. So that was very helpful. And one of the things is that I would encourage municipalities to go in that direction. Although I must say this is a lengthy process and requires resources. And before doing that, we need to first start with culture change among staff, because things has changed. We get to be aware of that. the builders are not the same builders 4 years ago. So the municipality needs to understand that, that the reliance on the builder, and also report that relationship that we are building. And at the same time, if a builder doesn't do and create bad reputation, we're going to focus only on that builder. We are not going to basically slap everybody in the same because somebody tried to cheat the system. And with that, I think I will conclude my presentation, and I like to open it up to you guys and ask any question you may have.
Mo, thanks very much for that and appreciate it. And Chris, go ahead now. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I want to say that very interesting. I actually, while you were talking, I had a quick look at the checklist from the City of Kelowna online here, and it's very concise. And the application is, I think it's 1 page for a single family home. We're talking, so definitely have trimmed out as much of the unnecessary as or it looks to me. Now, do you also have like an online, I didn't look too far, did you have an online portal? Like you mentioned, like submitting by, how does that work? What about electronic submissions for things like schedules? Do you take electronic signatures?
Good question, Chris. Yes, yes, we accept electronic signatures. And we accept if you want to attach the entire package to an email or whatever, we accept that. Actually, we welcome that. Why? Because we have to spend money to convert those paper version into digital version, PDF version A, in order to be linked to the property. So if you send that package, it's already scanned. So we welcome that. Yes, we accept electronic signature, electronic schedule, and those time of paperwork is gone. Now we are new. Actually, we were one of the first one that we agreed with. Actually, we pushed the envelope and we engaged AIBC, the Architect Institute and Engineering Association. I would say 10 years ago, say we want to go in that direction. I want you to accept it. If you accept it, you will accept it, and they did. So that is acceptable method throughout the BC now, if not throughout Canada. And the other portal, yes, the portal, yes, we have a portal right now, online portal, and also we are working to replace our in-house developed or legacy system, and we are adding tons of value. We are adding such as we are just started to, we are not there yet, but we are working on it. We hired a consultant and we are putting money into that. We created a team, because this type of project, Chris, cannot be done inside of your desk. Municipality should put money on the side, because you pay building permit fee. We took that surplus from the building permit fee and said, well, that should go back to the customer directly to improve the system. And that's what we are doing. The surplus goes to the improving the system. And right now we are working with information services, and also we are working with we have a staff member in different department that is hired to improve the artificial intelligence throughout the corporation. And we are using that actually we are working with that individual and with the consultant to take all these policy and procedures, bulletins we have to put it is like sharing, you know, to put it into the artificial intelligence, so that if you have a question, you can go and even you can start a chat bot, and you can either somebody can text back to you immediately, or you can talk to somebody, which is not a real individual in the background, is artificial intelligence, gives you the limit. If past the limit, then you can go talk to somebody. So we are working on that, and also the other things that we are working on is digital plan examination. That is coming. We are hoping by next year, at least year and a half down the road, everything is settled, so that as far as the service improvement, we can raise the bar drastically.
How many staff do you have? Like, how many plan checkers do you have? How many building inspectors do you have? You mentioned there's 600 builders, so, and your department's $5 million budget. So
Yeah, good question. But first of all, that's 600 builders. I meant 600 members. I shouldn't say 600 builders. I don't know really. I take it back. So going back to number of staff members. So you got to bear in mind that you cannot compare City of Kelowna with other smaller municipalities with surrounding you. The reason that I'm saying because our construction activity is through the roof. I calculated the construction value compared to City of Surrey, for example, which is one of the booming municipality. So City of Kelowna, with a population of 150,000, our construction value in 2021 was $1.2 billion. It's huge. So versus City of Surrey was 1.9 million with a population of over 550. So when you convert the math per capita, we are way higher from any municipality throughout the province, if not throughout the country. Actually, we are close to the city of New York as far as the per capita is concerned. So therefore, obviously, for that purpose, we need to have sufficient number of staff. As far as number of staff, I have 7 plan checkers. I have 7 building inspectors. I have 7 plumbing gas inspectors. I have 2 managers, 1 manager for all the building inspectors and business license and so forth, one manager for permitting section, as well as the application center. Application center, I have 6 clerical working there. So for that volume of work, you need that resources. Although we are not, I will in no way and shape I say that we are overstaffed, and I couldn't say that we are understaffed. What we did, instead of focusing, because if you Chris, if you focus only on resources, that is never ended, is a vicious cycle. You need to focus on process improvement. Then you can create efficiency. Then resources, that is not going to be an issue anymore. You get to look at your operation.
No, I'm curious, how many permits would you issue in a month or a year?
In a month, well, in annually, I can tell you in a second, if you're interested in a month. But let me give you annually in average. In average, annually, we issue 2,500 building permits and about 3,000 plumbing permits and 3,000 gas permits. If you add all 3 permits, we are plus minus 8,000.
Thanks.
how did you convince staff that culture change was the answer? And during that process, how did that go? Like,
well, you get a in order to get a buy-in from staff, you need to, first of all, from leadership point of view, from pragmatic leadership point of view, you need to first of all create a good working environment for your team. Good working environment is to give them feedback, to support them while you make accountability very clear. To support them, provide the flexibility. If they have family issues, they can take anytime they need, but they have to be aware that they have customers. If the customers, you cannot hang the customers and then leave for vacation. You get to be responsible when you leave, even for 2 days. Pass on what is outstanding, what is the pressing issue, and who is waiting for what, the major issue, so that the accountability is there while you give them time off anytime they want. And also say, hey, okay, you want a time off? I'm as flexible as long as you fill in for the others. You fill in for each other. And then you basically you create more or less indirectly self-directing team. While there is a manager at the top, the manager is there to support. It's not there to macromanage you or look over your shoulder. So that way you empower the staff and say, okay, make a decision. I want you to make a decision. And don't worry if your decision is wrong. I will support it. I will deal with it. If it goes sideways, it's going to be on my shoulder and my responsibility. So therefore you have to start to, first of all, get that anxiety level or that covering your butt type of thinking and decide. Then you empower. Say, okay, the director of department or the manager, my managers make a decision, and they support me. And always I tell, let's say plan checkers. Always I tell plan checkers, okay, don't dive into you don't need to dig in for the bones. Don't worry about the details. Rely on these guys. They are professionals. They know what they are doing, and they take the responsibility. Is their problem if something goes sideways. You don't need to check every detail. They know what to do. They have been building houses for ages. When there are changes, it's our responsibility to pass on the education, which we do, which municipalities are not there. It's not their role to be part of education of the community, but we broke the ice, and I'm out there. As soon as building code changes, we are out there with the builders, with CHP and so forth. So that way they know that I said, only what I need you to focus, don't focus much on requirement of BC building code, because they know that. And besides, just look at the special separation, the restriction of the lot, this and the other, but primarily focus on the zoning bylaw requirement. I don't want any builder, I don't want anybody, when you issue the permit, to go back to Alex or Chris, say, hey, by the way, I made a mistake, and your side yard setback is supposed to be 2.3 meters. I approved the 2 meters. You didn't know. I made a mistake. Now you got to fix it. No, I don't want to be in that position. So focus, spend the time on zoning bylaw review. That's where I don't want to go sideways, because then if it goes sideways, that means it requires development bench permit and might have to go front of council. Nobody looks good here. Spend the time and zoning bylaw review and compliance. The rest, there is another set of eyes on the sites. They're going to catch it. If don't worry about smoke alarm in every bedroom. They all know that. The electrician know that. Why you're bothering, you're taking your time putting a stamp in every room that, oh, smoke alarm is required. They know that. So don't worry about that. So just stay focused on the big nuggets. Where it goes sideways, it's difficult to fix it. So that gives them the freedom of decision making, and also the strength of the support behind them. Especially if it comes from somebody at the top like myself, then they will listen. They know that, hey, that's what I want, and that's what they deliver. And that empowers them by giving the freedom of decision making, and also support them, engage them. If they make mistakes, they have a support, and they are not going to be penalized. So this has been, and also always, if you hear, I have here my drawers full of gifts for my staff. I'm thirsty and seeking for feedback, and if I see feedback, either phone call or anything, I put it back together as a gift and thank you reward to staff. So feedback is very important. Feedback is the breakfast of champion, and I use this method and have been working. I put a budget, a $3,000 budget just for the giveaway things.
Hey Mo, Colin McCarthy here in Squamish. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about, I found it interesting. You talked about the 95% of the builders being quality professionals, providing good submissions, good product. And the department I work in, we do what we can. Admittedly, it may appear to be mostly on the inspection side that we try to allow those guys who are proven and who are delivering quality all the time to facilitate their projects as much as we can. Where we do run into a bit of a problem sometimes is at the submission stage. How do you differentiate that? I'm pleased to hear that in your jurisdiction, only 5% appear to be the ones causing you problems. I think that depends on where you're at and what the market is like as well. But I want to know how you differentiate between either those professionals versus the less professional, or between those submissions without running into the liability of somebody saying, well, you know, why is this firm seeming to getting preferential treatment?
Yeah, good question. First of all, that 5% that I threw it in, that was rule of thumb, 5%. However, as you know, and everybody knows, you know, especially in a small community, word goes around fast, news goes around fast. You know, in your jurisdictions, and even Alex knows, Chris knows in the area that he builds, which builder following the rules, which builder is responsible and transparent and is after high quality, and which is it. So that those builders that aren't, they pop up. We are focusing only on those, and we don't give them any break. Any break. We are monitoring harder and those, and we don't give any break because they have to. It's not fair to the 95%. So and we might make an exception to them and ask them for more. Add red tape only for that 5% because of the history. If we have builders here that we know is known to us that, hey, if you don't watch him, things can go sideways. And those one, we don't give any break. We don't give him a break. Even today, before this meeting, I noticed one of the staff members, one builder is known to us, and he built a swimming pool right at the property line, and the inspector attacked him because knew that he does things like that. If it goes, if goes, then goes. If not, then he deals with it. So we pay attention to an individual like that and say, no, you got to go through the development permit or remove it because he has done things like that. And staff watch only those that are like that. And we are very transparent about it. If the known builder to us, and if things go here and there sideways at them, we know that maybe that was a mistake from their end. We're not going to scrutinize them because we know the next house they learn the lesson because they want to do the right thing and they do it right. We work with them. So it's all about the building relationship and also giving the credit to builders first before you say, hey, that's wrong, rejection. The attitude. I always tell my staff, hey, the reason that we are here because of the builders, because of the customers. Yes, we have a different responsibility. We are independent party. We have to make sure because of the house, the owner with the family, small kids they are not around the table who is going to end up to live in that house. That's why we are there as independent party to represent them. So, and while we are doing that, while we are doing our due diligence at the same time, we are there for that purpose. We are public servant. We are not cops. We are not authoritarian. We cannot be authoritarian because as soon as you as a building officials, which hopefully that culture change is taking place throughout the BC, through BOEBC and all the education that we do, this culture change is taking throughout the province. But also that's not enough. Each municipality, they get a focus on that. If wouldn't be able because of those homeowners that need a house to be built by you guys, and if wouldn't be because of the builders or subtrades or developers, we didn't have a job. So we are part and parcel of each other. We got to understand that and respect that while we treat everybody with respect and dignity. We do our job firm but fair. That is what I push forward, and so far has been working. And even I have staff member that in the beginning maybe they had hardline approach coming from different municipalities, hardline approach. We just grind on him. Well, I have an expression say, well, I'm gonna go get the sandpaper, and I will take my sandpaper and sand the edges, so make it smooth, make the characteristics smooth and so forth. And we deal with the issue. You got to deal with the issue as a manager. You got to deal with the issue. You cannot just let it go. Any issues, any issue that you think strategically that could go sideways and could create snowball and create other problem, as in its inception, we have to deal with, and we deal with the issues. That's very, very important.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other question? I think I took almost 1 hour of your time, so I hope that this time was useful. And if there is further questions for me, feel free to contact me either through Susanna or Alex or Chris. I would be more than happy to have sessions like that or any specific questions.
Great. Thanks for your time, Mo.
Thank you very much, Mo.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
I let you
thanks,
go back to your business, and it was great to meet you, Alex, again, to see you again, as well as Chris, and I wish you guys all the best.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Mo. Really appreciate your time today. Very, very informative. I think we're
Okay, well, thank you.
all
Thank you,
absorbing it.
everybody. All the best. And
Thank
if you
you.
have any question, feel free to contact me. You have my contact information.
Thank you very
Have a-
much, Mo.
My pleasure.
We'll be back in
pleasure.
touch soon.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I found that very informative. Have we dropped a few people off? Are we
I think we just lost Melissa.
Yeah, I
just
think
hearing that? Yeah.
Colin left as well.